with DJ Ramirez, Garrett Stubbs, Coach Hubbs, Dante Flores, and Tyler Gilbert. Coach, you want to start with an opening comment?
Well, hey, I thought it was a great game and a great atmosphere, and I think it's big for LA baseball to be able to get, I think they said the crowd was between 14 and 15,000, and we really put it together in the last 2 weeks when they started selling tickets. And so it's a great event. I think anytime you can play in a big league stadium, and especially when you can play against your rival and have a great crowd like that with big energy from both sides. And I think I was talking to John earlier today, and they felt it both Friday and Saturday at their park. We felt it Friday and Saturday at our park, really getting people energized about college baseball in Los Angeles. And I think that's a huge thing. I think both programs are really playing at a high level right now. I think that this was obviously an excellent weekend for our baseball team. I think, I've been saying it all along. It's not about who we play, it's about how we play. I think that, we're a really resilient group. I think we're a relentless group, and that's something that we focus on. I think, the kids put their minds to, they wanted to be the best team on the field every day we play. And they've been able to accomplish that over and over and over. And I'm really proud of how well they're playing right now. And I think, on a big stage where a lot of people were looking at them trying to figure out how good this team really is, well, I think we made that statement that we're pretty good. We need to continue it. We know we've got a lot left to do. Someone told me last night, they said, man, if you get through UCLA, this is like one half of a bracket in Omaha, getting through that in a 3-day stretch. And, to play quality competition and to play at a high level, you're going to make some mistakes. And we did. We made plenty of them on the weekend. But the thing that I expressed to our team after this game was every time they scored, or each time they scored, we answered. And to put up 6 runs in 6 different innings against that pitching staff, that's a pretty good accomplishment, that we could be relentless like that and not let them get back into it by, hey, they put up the 3-run inning and then we answered, and then we answered again, and then we answered again. And so we just kept putting pressure on them to have to do it. And as long as we throw strikes, we feel like we have a good chance of playing really good defense behind us, and then we're going to come up with a big hit, and we did that today.
Gilbert comes in, 3 1/3 scoreless. I mean, it seems like your bullpen continues to get a lot of contributions from different guys. And how much confidence do you have in that group right now?
Well, I have a lot of confidence in them, and what I was telling Tyler, the other day was we're going to take this one game at a time. And he had an excellent start against Santa Barbara on Tuesday and struck out 11, and we're not going to put the cart before the horse, so we can't look toward Irvine until we get through UCLA. And with Davis throwing 70 pitches on Friday and Huberman throw twice, and we could have used Mark again today, but I really didn't want to. And I felt like the matchup with his stuff and his ability to throw strikes and what he's been doing, that it was a good matchup against UCLA. And so you don't know what position you're going to be in on Tuesday, so let's focus on winning this game, and now we'll worry about Tuesday. And we feel like we got plenty of arms that need work and that can pitch and can get outs and throw strikes, and so we'll worry about Tuesday on Tuesday. But I think you're right. I mean, we've been getting a ton of contribution throughout, just like we have at the plate. We've been getting a lot of different contribution from a good part of the team. And I think that it keeps them fresh, it keeps them loose, it keeps them engaged, and they're ready to go.
You touched on it in your opening remarks, but 3 consecutive wins over top 10 teams on such a big stage. What does that say about where this team is at?
I think it just says that we don't fear anybody. And I think that and that we're capable of beating anybody. But now, with that being said, we also know that if we don't play well, we're capable of losing to anybody as well. I think that the state of college baseball is you have to play well every time you go out there. If you don't, you're going to wear it a little bit. And fortunately, we've been able to survive a few punches but not get knocked out, and then we come back and win the game. And I think that, I've been saying it all along, these guys are good players. And I think that they started to really believe the second half of last year. We really went on a run. We won 14 out of the last 21. We took 2 out of 3 from Oregon State, who was number 1 in the country, and we beat them 2 out of 3 with what we thought was a chance to go to the postseason. And so to do that with so much on the line, what I told the team that Monday when we watched and saw we were basically the last team out was that I was most proud of them that they could perform that well with so much on the line. And they weren't intimidated. They went out and did it. And I think that's what we're seeing right now, is just a continuation of that. They believe in themselves and they believe in each other.
Dante, 3 more hits today for you. Had the home run yesterday. Coach said yesterday that it just feels like you're a different player this year. What is the difference?
The difference I'd say is I'm 1 year older. This team is 1 year older. This team has put a lot of work in the off season to get better with working on approach and working on that side of the game. And this team does a lot better job of getting on base and putting pressure on the pitcher, and that helps me out. When the hitter in front of me, put the pitcher in a position where he has to throw to me, he can't throw anything around me. It helps me hit. And so it goes back to the team aspect that we're all doing much better this year to hit better, and it just moves along down the line.
AJ, how did it feel to hit a home run in a major league stadium, and does this home run carry significance from your other ones this season?
Well, it really feels like a dream come true. I mean, as a kid, we're all growing up, dreaming to be major leaguers, and so be able to do that on this stage, it's a dream come true. I'm just, been working with our coaches a lot and, making adjustments here and there. But, I'm just happy, hopefully I can keep this going and, our team can keep winning.
Did you think it was out off the bat?
Yeah, I was pretty confident. Yeah.
Coach, you just kind of touched on it, but last year you guys were 1 or 2 games out of postseason play. How important is it for you that you guys have had such a dominant start to your season before you get conference?
Well, I think it's big. I think that what we talked about all year was that you don't know what game it's going to be that can keep you out. So don't let it be today. And find a way to keep fighting and fighting and fighting and figure it out. And so, I think that at the end of the day, it comes down to RPI. That's all it comes down to. It doesn't come down to anything else. We all know that. We understand that. So when you have a chance to get resume builders, you got to go take advantage of them. And so, I know a lot of people were talking about what we were doing on the weekends, and that was great. But the fact of the matter is you're seeing now how good Fullerton actually is at home. And that I don't know what they did today, but they took the first 2 from Texas Tech, so they swept Texas Tech. They swept Baylor. Their first weekend, they had it rough, but, they were in Florida playing against, obviously, some pretty good teams. And then we went to Fullerton and we won. And then we had another good weekend. And then we went to Fresno and won, who's another really good team, especially at home. They're dangerous. They can beat anybody in the country. And then we went to Santa Barbara, and we should have won that game, we felt like. And so, I don't think that playing TCU playing those games I think those are great resume builders at the end of the year. At the end of the day, for me, it's just about we were the best team on the field 3 days in a row. And I'm proud of these kids that, they faced really good pitching. They manned up to it. They got hits in big spots. They drew walks. They were able to do some things. We were able to play aggressive baseball, and it worked out on our end. And I think what happens is we're able to force teams to make some mistakes that normally they don't make, because we're able to play aggressively. And we do play aggressively. Unfortunately today, I thought we made a couple bonehead aggressive mistakes, and I think that was just the energy and the excitement of being in Dodger Stadium and playing the rival and being on TV and all those things, that we were trying to make a couple plays where they weren't there to be made. We'll learn from that and move on, but like I keep telling these guys, I'd rather learn these lessons in a win than a loss any day.
Coach, you're probably going to be ranked higher up in the rankings come Monday, Tuesday. How do you guys temper the expectations, the excitement now that after this weekend that the rankings?
Well, that's great, and we felt, I'm excited for the guys. I think that it's a great pat on the back for the work they've done. But we also know, or I also know, that as quickly as you go in, you could go out if you just tank it. So we're just going to be focused on Irvine, regardless of what stuff comes out, and we're going to just try and win as many games as we can, because once again, our focus is, don't let today be the day that keeps you out. So instead of the rankings, I'm more worried about how many times are we going to win the game, and not are we on a streak, not anything else, but can we win today? And that's going to be our focus all year long. Doesn't matter if we win one day, lose another day. This team showed a lot that they went to Santa Barbara, lost 2-1 in a tough game, and were able to bounce back and have 2 walk-off wins, and then have a really good game today.
What did you see out of Mitch today? Obviously a big stage for a freshman.
Hey, I think Mitch has really good stuff, and he was working way too hard to get them out. And we've had this conversation over and over a little bit with Mitch is that, you know, his next step in development is being able to just finish the hitter off. And he was at 0-2, 1-2, and we get to 3-2 and then make a mistake. You know, and when you think about it, you know, he didn't quite make the pitches to Bono, and then he kind of cut a change into the inner part of the plate, and he launched it for a homer. If he gets that ball away, he probably caps it, and nothing happens. And then you know, he made another mistake right down the middle to Kramer, and then we're going in on Moore, and he like leaks it out over the plate, and it's a double in the gap. And so, you know, it was little things like that. But when he makes his pitches, I think that people can see, you know, then one of the great things about him is he can come back and he can outstuff a kid like Keck who has 20 RBIs, and he can just throw a fastball right by him and then get out of that inning. And so, you know, I think he showed a lot in that, and then he put up 2 zeros right after that as we extended. And then, you know, I think that he answered the call. Now we just got to continue to work on being able to finish the breaking ball and finish pitches and get, you know, execute the pitches when we want to. And I think you're seeing why people thought so highly of him out of high school. I mean, he has a pretty advanced feel for pitching. You know, he can spot it up, and you know, I thought his first inning showed that he wasn't overwhelmed by the moment. You know, he got ahead of Kramer, and then once again, he trying to work too hard to get him out rather than, you know, it's like he's trying to strike everybody out and he overthrows and then the ball gets up. So I was proud of him how he battled.
AJ, obviously hitting a home run in any major league park as a junior in college is pretty impressive. But for you, growing up in Bakersfield, not too far from LA, not too far from Dodger Stadium, did that make it a little extra special for you?
Well, yeah. Also, like, you know, growing up, you know, my dad played professional baseball for 10 years, and growing up on the baseball field as a little kid, it was something I've always dreamed of doing. And when I found out, you know, a couple of weeks ago that we were going to be playing here, you know, I was really excited. And my first step out, I was, you know, not trying to do too much, and then I just got my pitch, and so, you know, just anything to help this team win.
What advice did your dad have for you?
Well, it was actually something, the exact same thing one of our coaches was telling me before the game, you know, that just, you know, kind of stay back and not get too jumping, kind of let the game come to you, and so that's kind of what I did.
How's it like having the really enthusiastic fan support the last 3 days? It wasn't like this in the beginning of the season, but it seems like the fans are coming out and they're going to continue coming out. So for the players, how has this been?
It's been great. You know, it's a lot easier to play with a lot of intensity when there's a crowd to play in front of. You know, playing at Dodger Stadium, there was going to be a crowd. But playing at home yesterday and the day before, there were, I think, over 1,000 people there. And to play in that kind of atmosphere makes things a lot easier. And, you know, to keep having that support throughout the year is going to be really fun to be on the field.
Yeah, no, coming from junior college, it's like day and night, you know, so I'm still trying to grasp it all. Like playing at Dodger Stadium tonight was unbelievable. I'm still kind of in awe about the whole situation, but yeah, no, the crowds are great. It's cool that they bring a lot of energy to every game, and it's been working out really great, so I like it. It's fun.
Garrett, what do you think makes you guys so resilient in terms of bouncing back when a team scores and then being able to get another run or two next frame or something?
I think we trust each other a lot. You know, no matter who's up to the plate, everyone feels like we're going to be able to win a ball game. You know, you saw yesterday a freshman, Albert, he hit a home run and with 2 outs. You know, a freshman. And for a team to be able to put a guy into a situation like that and for him to come through like he did is pretty unbelievable. And, you know, no matter who's up to the plate, whenever I'm up to the plate, I know that Stahl is going to get on. You know, if he doesn't get on, I'll get on. And if I don't get on, Jeremy will get on. And it just keeps going down the line. You know, and there's not a person in this lineup that when we're on the bench watching him that we don't feel like he's going to get it done.
Guys, what's been the biggest difference for you from last season, Coach? You mentioned, obviously, the maturity and a little bit of how this picked up towards the end of last year, but from your perspective, what's been the biggest reason you've been able to turn things around?
For me, for being here for 4 years, the biggest thing I've noticed is, in fact, maturity, and I hate to repeat that, but the little things of taking first to thirds and aggressive, even though we made a mistake today early, the reason why we keep doing that is because it works for us. That game really propels us forward, and our ability to come back and score after they score, and to take first or third, and to get that bunt read, and to get the next guy up every single time, and knowing that the next guy's going to get the hit, it just keeps the game moving for us, and we just keep doing well. And it's nice to see the team be able to mature and be able to handle any situation, handle any opponent, and nothing gets too overbearing for us. And it's really nice to see this team just settle in and know what we can do.